You are listening to Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. I am your host, Chanel Scott. I'm a psychic medium and energy healer who has been supporting those on a spiritual journey for over a decade. I'm your tour guide into the world of the unknown, showing you that the magic of the universe is at your fingertips. I believe spirituality is simple and fun, and this podcast will make it easily accessible, giving you the real talk on all things divine and spiritual, helping you to step into the flow. Manifesting your dreams because we all deserve to be living our best life. Are you ready for an adventure? Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to a new episode of Directions from your Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. My name is Chanel. I am your host and your spiritual tour guide on this beautiful journey we call life. On your journey, do you follow your heart? Do you listen to your emotions? Do you pay attention to your mind and the logic? Or do you discover your intuition? This one is one that I get really passionate about. It is a lesson that when we figure it out, we learn something quite magical. We were always told, follow your heart, listen to your heart. But do you recognize that your heart is driven by emotion? And emotion can be all over the place. Have you ever seen someone deeply in love and how they make the stupidest decisions because they are just heart-struck and love-struck and just doing anything, and they're not being logical and they're not listening to their intuition? They're just, how do I fit into this and how do I make it last? Or have you had the opportunity to witness somebody who logics everything, that will sit there and math it out or logic why the thing is that we need to do the thing? And it is so interesting to watch and to see these things happen. But where I am inviting you to move from is somewhere completely different. I am inviting you to pay attention to your intuition or to your soul. And I always like to say that this place is somewhere in between the emotion and the logical mind. It is this place of knee-jerk reactions. It is this place of pure truth and authenticity. It is this place that is driven by intuition and the universe and guiding us in a whole different way. What happens when we go to brain or to emotion is there's a lot involved. We get caught up in everything that's bubbling up or the spinning that happens. And we've all seen this, right? And I keep going back to love because I think that's where we see it the most, right? Is this piece of like spinning. Does he like me? Does she like me? Will it last? Do they want to see me again? Or maybe you think of it as a career path, right? Going for a job interview and then sitting there and questioning everything you said. These places don't bring us into the present. They take us out. Our brain is in the past. What did I say? Was it good enough? Did I answer that correctly? Or in the future, do they like me? Will they ask me out again? Will they message me? It takes us out of the present. What our intuition does is it brings us fully into the present. It allows us to be really present in our body and with who we are, to be able to witness and to observe instead of being pulled out, instead of being shoved into the past or pulled into the future. It allows us to be grounded and connected. It allows us to witness instead of react. And it's interesting because we get into emotion and that feels really reactionary. Somebody does things to piss you off, you scream and yell, or somebody hurts you and you cry uncontrollably. The emotion just pulses in. And there's nothing wrong with emotion. Let me just be clear about that. Emotion is a very powerful tool. Emotion will tell you where you are. The problem is that we don't stay there. We go a wandering. And that's when it gets us into trouble. But if we actually acknowledge where we are in the emotion, we get to see it in a different way. If I feel triggered, I go, oh, what's going on here? Instead of, oh my God, and spiraling. Do you see the difference? Somebody pisses me off. I can take a deep breath and go, are they having a bad day today? Can I respond with compassion instead of with my nails or my claws out and my teeth bared? It allows us that moment to decipher or to process or to just feel deeper. The emotion has purpose, huge purpose. But again, it is how you deal with that emotion is how productive it can be. Yes, follow your heart in the sense of, I did this thing. I feel so passionate about it. I'm really excited about it. Now, what am I going to do with it? I had this thing. I went to this place. I went to this job interview. As soon as I got there, the building felt off. The person I met felt off. The interview felt terrible. Well, you could just question and question and question, spiral, or you can acknowledge that maybe this isn't the place for you to work. Your body, your emotions were saying, pay attention. And if you stayed present, you may have even heard something or witnessed something that really kind of sealed the deal for you that said, this is not the place for me. Our emotions tell us these things. But do we want to make a decision from just our emotions? No. Because if you went into that same scenario, building fell off, person you met fell off, the interview fell off, you would go in and go, oh my God, was it me? Was it me? Did I bring in an energy of like being too nervous or too anxious and it spiraled and it didn't feel good? And maybe it was just me. That is letting your emotions lead. That is let your logical brain lead. When we acknowledge the feeling, allow ourselves space, and then ask, what was that? We can allow for the space to see exactly what it is. The logical side of things. Now, this one takes a different route. Magic is not logical. If it was, you'd be able to figure out every magic trick out there, and you haven't probably, so we're going to stick with that. What I have learned over my many, many, many years in spiritual practice is that spirit isn't logical. And when my logical brain tries to make sense of things, it gets me into trouble. It takes me out of that place of presence and puts me into that place of, how? Where's this going to take me? That couldn't possibly work. But when I step out of it, and spirit says, just do the thing, I promise you, it doesn't sound right, but it's going to work. And when I listen, it does. And it blows my mind every time. I say to people all the time, I know this doesn't sound logical, but can you try this? And then they do. And then they get to see magic too. The energy of the universe. Yes, it's scientific and it can be very factual, but it isn't necessarily logical. We can't think our way out of it. Now, the beautiful part of this space in between is it takes from both ends. It asks us to allow our logical brain to have a certain role, and it asks our heart and our emotions to have a certain role. But that in-between place mitigates. It finds that middle ground where we can tune in. Now, Here's where the problem lies. We are so conditioned to do things a different way. We are conditioned to move from fear. Yes, fear of not being good enough, getting that A on your test, or getting that job. We have a fear of not being worthy. We have a fear of, oh my God, I feel like I could go on forever about fear, but fear and control, because those that were afraid once upon a time decided that the way to feel safe is to have control over everything. And if you know, really, that's not the kind of control that we have. When we learn our own sovereignty, that's a whole nother ballpark. But then what happens is we're so conditioned by that all through school. Don't be bad, you'll be sent to the principal's office. Or we'll call your mom. Or even worse, we'll call your dad. For my kids, it was way worse calling mom than it was calling dad. Dad didn't do crap. Anyways, I digress. But there's this piece of, we are constantly told that something or someone has control over us and that we should fear things. So of course, when we are being pushed through emotion, control and domination and fear all want us to move as fast as possible. They want us to be in that chaos. They want us to be out here instead of in here. But when we start to say, no, I don't let fear lead, it brings us back again. I can even feel it. They're scratching my throat right now. Excuse me. When we acknowledge that when we move from that place in our soul, that we move from that place of authenticity and truth, we can see right through all of that. But again, it is about reconditioning our bodies and our souls to come to this place. It is about listening to the messages. It is about feeling the feelings, the sensations that show up in our body. If it showed up out of the blue instantly, there is a strong possibility that that is your body talking to you. If you have a sudden burst of emotion, that's your body trying to get your attention. So it will do something big for us to listen. But when we get better at really listening, feeling, acknowledging, having such deep self-awareness, we start to just see it with so much ease. And it guides us in the right direction. The universe is not here to guide you in the wrong direction. That's not its motive. The universe is here to show you the path of least resistance. The universe is here to show you the path of joy. And the universe is here to show you the path to your dreams. But you have the choice. You have free will. You have freedom of choice to decide. So you need to decide where it is that you want to go. And letting your mind logic it or your heart lead it might not get you there. But if you learn how to pay attention, to be aware, to be in the now, you might just find that this path is way easier than you could have ever expected. Thank you. So grateful. It is a gift to learn how to listen. So I hope that is one that you take a little bit of time to do. I am super excited to be picking up planners from the printers tomorrow. I will start packaging and they should be ready to go by Monday for those that have already ordered. If you have not ordered yet, they are here way faster than they have ever been before. Super quick turnaround. I'm so grateful. So I want to get them into your hands. The pre-sale is on until October 5th. That is $33 for your planner plus your monthly tabs. Price goes up after the 5th. So it's about a $10 savings. What else is happening? Yoga Nidra is on the second Friday of the month. That is October 10th from 7 to 8 p.m. It's guided meditation. Then I'm doing a Halloween event. So usually we do group mediumship on the second Friday of every month, but we are skipping it. We are doing it the last Friday of the month on Halloween. Event doesn't start till 8 o'clock. I am going to open the doors early, but the actual event won't start until 8 to allow people time to do trick-or-treating and whatever before you come and hang out with me. We're having like a Victorian haunted Halloween. We're going to spoon bend. We're going to make pendulums. We're going to talk about oracle cards. And of course, we're going to do a seance, aka a group mediumship reading. So come join me at Dundas Yoga and Fitness. All of it is on my website to register. Links in bios, all that good stuff. So come on out. I am also back to Fisherville this month on the 25th. The Saturday the 25th for Sound and Spirit. Crystal is going to do another beautiful sound bath. I'm going to do energy work during it. And then I'm going to do group mediumship right afterwards. It is a full afternoon in the most beautiful space, Zen Country Wellness. It is so gorgeous out there in Fisherville. So that is another thing coming up. Thanks everybody. Thanks for being here and thanks for being on my spiritual journey. Thanks for allowing me to be your spiritual tour guide from my heart and soul to yours. Until the next time. Bye now.